Hi guys, this is Pam, and I have not given up on Blender. I think it's a program that I could really use and make a lot of interesting figures and a lot of animations with. So I have continued to follow the tutorials and basically rewatch them, and I'm not going to say I had a breakthrough, but I think I was able to accomplish or at least make something in Blender and upload it to Firestorm. So when you first open up Blender, and I'm using version 2.71 because this is the version that I found the most tutorials in, and thankfully Blender will let you download any version they've ever had. Like, they have it available on their webpage. So I downloaded this one. And the first thing you want to do, well, when you first open up Blender, this is what you're going to see: a cube and the X, Y, and Z axis, which is very similar to building in Firestorm. And the first thing you want to do is, if you want to look at this prim, you're going to hold your middle scroll key of your mouse if you have a 3-key mouse. So if you hold that down, you can view this object from any position. Okay, so that's useful. You can't do that in Firestorm. At least I'm not aware of how to do it like that. So if you hold your Shift key and you roll your middle key in your mouse, you can go up and down. If you hold your Control key and you roll your mouse, the middle key in your mouse, it goes to side. So that was pretty useful. Okay, so the first thing you have to do in order to make something is you have to go here where it says Object Mode. You have to go into Edit Mode, and everything is going to be selected right now. Okay, and here is where you can work with the corners or with the sides or with the phases, but I think right now the tutorials I've seen is we like to keep it at the phases. So okay, so now if you click A, just the letter A, it'll unselect, and then it'll select again if you click it. So right now that we have it selected, if we press the space bar, you can go for Subdivide, which is the more points we have in there, the easier it is to build. So if we want to subdivide, and you see how it added 4 squares on each side, and then we want to do space bar, subdivide again, and space bar and subdivide again. Okay, so this is going to give us more vertices. Okay, so right now I've already made a chair. I'm going to make another chair. So I'm going to click A and unselect it, and then I'm going to click the Shift key and select these guys. You have to right click on them. So Shift key and right click. Right click, click, right click, click, right click, right click, right click. So I'm just going to let's see. I'm gonna click my middle button. Okay, so I'm going to right click on this blue arrow and lift it. Okay, and so this is going to be like the backing of my chair. Okay. Oh. Okay, so there's that. So now I'm going to go over here. Okay, so I went a little ahead and I finished the chair. I just didn't want to make this video too long. So right now we're going to prep this 3D design for uploading it to Firestorm. Okay, so what we're going to do now is prepare the surface. So it's called UV editing. And we're going to click A. Make sure we have, I usually press it a couple of times, make sure we have everything selected, and go up here where it says default and go to UV editing. Okay, and then we're going to go to shading UVS, unwrap here, and we're going to do Smart UV project. And I'm not sure what these numbers mean yet. I haven't gotten to that part yet. So we're gonna click OK. Okay, so this is vertices and points, a map of vertices and points. I'm not sure how that works yet, but I think now it's prepared for us to be able to export it and upload it. Okay, so now that we have this map, we have to make sure we have it selected. And now we can actually do File, Export, and we have to do Collada, save as a Collada file. A lot of people that I watched the tutorials from are working with a program called Avastar, which is what they use to rig the clothes for the avatars, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. Eventually I will, and I'm going to also learn Marvelous Designer, and I didn't download it today because you have to pay $50 for it, and I just feel like I need to get this part down first before I can move on to any other programs. But that's what helps you sew the clothes together, which is what eventually I want to focus on. Okay, so I'm gonna do export as Collada, and I'm going to select my desktop, and I'm going to save it as second chair. Okay, so export Collada up here in the corner. Okay, so then now I have my second chair. Okay, so now I am going to open up my Firestorm, and here I am in the Finger Lakes, and here's my first chair, which I made into a Gustav Klimt chair, and I added a pose ball. So now if I sit here, I sit and I have a pose. Okay. So now we're going to turn this chair into another art chair, but let's hopefully try to upload without any issues. Okay, so now that we're here, we go to build, and we go to upload, and we go to mesh model. Okay, so we want to grab the second chair and open. And what I've seen so far is that in the upload options, I want to include textures, even though I haven't given it any textures. For the physics, we want it to be at medium. Physics mesh too dense. Remove small thin triangle. Save preview. High. It's not recommended for physics upload. Okay. Low. Okay. So let me do high, because I'm not sure. I mean, this is the first time I've gotten a message, so I have no idea what that means. Okay, so you want to load from file. Okay, and I think it's probably, I know why that did that. Okay, so I want a building component. Okay, so upload options here. So we go to calculate weights and fee. Okay, so we are not getting, okay, we're getting any fees or anything like that, and do upload. Okay, so now we check, and we have a cube in there. So if I grab it and I place it, there's a chair! Woo! All right, so now we can click it, and we see it's a mesh, and we're definitely gonna, I think I'm gonna make this one the Mona Lisa chair. So I'm going to rename it right now before I forget what that is. It's definitely not just a cube. Okay, So now I'm going to edit it and I'm going to rotate it. Okay. I'm going to grab the poles first. So the pose ball. Okay, here's my pose ball. So if I sit on it, it's showing me how it's going to sit right now, right? So I find that's the easiest way for me to work with these pose balls. Okay, so right now I'm going to grab it and I'm going to rotate it. Okay, so technically I should be sitting here and here. Of course, I mean, this isn't like a finished chair. I mean, eventually I would want to add more details to it, but right now, I mean, it was very hard for me to even get to this point. Okay, so I'm excited about this. Okay, so let's see. Now I want to add a texture. And I want to get this color white. Let's see, hopefully the Mona Lisa will look good on it. I don't know what that looks like yet. Let's see. Okay, so let's try to move it around a little bit. Okay, so it is rotation. Try to rotate it here. It might not look as good as the Gustav Klimt painting because oh my gosh, yeah, definitely not. So that's not going to work. So I'm going to give it any old, I'm going to make it into a wooden chair, because I don't know what else to do. Okay, I mean, for now, that'll work. Okay, so don't forget, when you add the pose ball, make sure you have the pose ball and the chair selected. There you go. I'm going to make sure that you have this guy. Okay. I want to get rid of the texture because I just want to be able to see it. It should be transparent. Okay, so that, and you shift and you select the chair and you go to build and you link. Okay, so if we've placed this properly, then when I go in and sit here, and I'm way too deep now. So now you want to go to edit linked, and hopefully I can select the pose ball. Yes, I could. Okay. So let me just stand here. Sit here. Perfect. Okay. All right. So this was my progress video, and definitely want to move back on that chair. Okay, but eventually I will do that. But so this was my progress video on uploading meshes from Blender and successfully being able to import it into Firestorm and applying a texture and a pulse ball. So thanks for watching, guys.